The United States has held elections since its founding in 1788, when the first presidential election took place. In these elections, citizens vote to choose leaders who represent them in government. While elections have changed over time to open up different voting rights to different groups of people, the process of voting in a standardized or all the same ballot way began in the 19th century. The U.S. election process follows 6 basic steps. Step 1, voting. Citizens cast their votes in person, by mail, or during early voting. Voting laws like voter ID requirements and use of mail-in ballots are decided by each state. Step 2, vote counting. Ballots are counted by local election officials. This process can take several days. Officials report the results to state elections offices. Step 3, state certification. After counting, states certify the results by verifying vote totals and then addressing any disputes or disagreements about those results. This process ensures that the election results are accurate and reflect the actual will of the voters. Governors then sign off on the results, which includes officially assigning their electors for the Electoral College. Each state has its own certification deadline, but all must meet federal deadlines to ensure electors can cast their votes for president and vice president on time. Step 4, it goes to the Electoral College. So the Electoral College is a group of people or electors who are officially select the President and Vice President of the United States. It's part of the system created by the U.S. Constitution to balance the influence of states in different presidential elections. So during a presidential election, when you're voting for a candidate, you're not actually voting for that candidate. You're pledging your vote to a slate of electors who have pledged their vote to that candidate. These electors then cast their final votes for president and vice president. 5 is then congressional certification. After the Electoral College casts its votes, Congress meets to count and confirm the results. This meeting happens on January 6 after a presidential election and is led by the current vice president. During that session, votes from each state are read aloud and added up to make sure everything matches. If any members of Congress believe there's a problem with the state's votes, they can object. To do this, at least one senator and one representative must sign a written objection and file it. If this happens, the House and Senate take time to discuss and vote on the issue separately. Most accessions don't succeed unless a lot of members from both groups can really come to an agreement. And once the votes are officially counted, the winners of the presidential election are confirmed. And step 6, well, we recently saw that step. That's when the president and the vice president are sworn in on January 20th.